drop 'em. One hook and I'll rock 'em. One more and I'll stop 'em. Call the fighter, I'll lock 'em. Up 'em. If he reach, then I'll pop 'em. Street sweeper, I'll wash 'em. Homicide, come and chalk 'em. Drop 'em. One hook and I'll rock 'em. One more and I'll stop 'em. Call the fighter, I'll lock 'em. Up 'em.
You are now tuned into the Boxing Bros. I'm Caden, and I'm here with my co-host.
What's going on, everybody? It's Trill Dollar Bill, the commissioner.
And what's going on, everyone? This is G, and unfortunately, my son isn't here.
Maybe he's on punishment. Maybe he's been acting like Chris Eubank Jr. All right, yo. The first topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros is who is most at fault for the Fury and AJ fight not happening. Is it Team Fury or is it Team AJ? But before we dive in, we're going to take a look at some of the videos, some of the evidence that's out there, and then we're going to give our take. Now, remember, this is just our opinion. This is pure speculation based on what's out there. So we don't need everybody coming running at us. This is just for the fun of it. So give your opinion, give your take in the comment section, who you think's more at fault, but be respectful to the people in the comment section, please. All right, so the first video we're going to look at is Eddie Hearn. And this video is from Behind the Gloves, and you could subscribe to Behind the Gloves for interviews with fighters.
Promoters. Real Eddie's in the hoodie.
Yeah, look, it's baffling, really. I mean, I don't want to say anything that's going to negatively impact. Like, I have to say, one of the great things about this whole situation is, you know, us and Queensbury don't talk, really. Yeah. Right? All the conversations, all the negotiations have been great. Tyson Fury will tell you the bits that you want to hear. So let me tell you a few bits that you need to know. Firstly, when we agreed terms for this fight, it took us over a week to receive a contract back from Queensbury. I don't even mind that. I'm not moaning about that because it's a very complex fight and it's one of the biggest fights in the world. When we received that contract, it was all over the place, right? It was nowhere near being any kind of situation that we could be close to signing. We have not had that contract for 14 days, like he said. Secondly, over the next week, we all worked tirelessly. We had a number of calls, meetings, Zoom calls to try and get the contract in some kind of shape. On Monday, just gone, we sent Queensbury our final draft of the contract with our final comments. He then came out on the same day and said, the fight's off, you're a pussy, I'm not taking this fight, I'm moving on. Okay. George sort of said, look, let me talk to him, let me get to where we are. Yesterday, we received back Queensbury's comments on our final comments, which are being reviewed at the moment. Now, like, this is 2 days after him saying the fight's off, it's not happening. We carried on, right? And then he pops up today and says, sign a contract today. Like, when we send a final draft that's ready to sign and we get a load of comments back, it's not ready to sign, okay? So they have to be reviewed and we go from there. So we're all willing to go through the process to get this fight signed. You have to remember, whilst AJ's the challenger, we're accepting a smaller split. We understand. He's not just a regular opponent. He has a number of huge commercial broadcast deals. When Fury says all the broadcast deals are agreed, they're not agreed, but it's certainly going well, right? When he says you can be involved in everything, no, that's not what the contract said, right? We don't have any say, especially a final say, in any of these deals, which is a major problem for us, bearing in mind AJ's commercial contract. So I haven't actually got anything negative to say. Oh, Queensbury have done this and Frank, and I don't think they could either. It's just Tyson Fury. In the meantime, he's offered fights to Manuel Char. He's just offered a fight to Derek Chisora yesterday, I think. And yet then he rears his head today and says, okay, I'll give you today. It's like, it ain't going to get done today. So I don't know what else to tell you. And it's not a case of, some people who don't really say understand. You haven't really got to even understand the contract when they'll try and go, well, just sign it. It doesn't, like, there's deals that, like, and we're not a million miles away, in all honesty. And I don't know if it's going to take 48 hours, 72 hours, but it's going to be signed when it's in the right place. And it's not just a case of we're out the fight, okay, and then on 2 days later.
All right, so Eddie's kind of talking in circles. Actually, there's one thing I want you to see though, because Joy Phelps actually holds him to the fire a little bit, and then you'll just see.
Later, just wake up and go, oh, I'll give you another day. Sign it today. Because we just received the comments back yesterday. So, again, I can't.
How confident are you that the final draft, based on what comments? Yes, based on what based on the comments you sent to Queensberry, and them now returning it.
There's a lot of comments. It's not like just one line out of a contract. They come back with a full.
To our understanding, it was just broadcasters that was sort of holding this up.
No, there's a number of comments from our final draft which we didn't feel were unreasonable. But again, I'm not saying Queensberry have to sign that contract. You have to understand when we receive the contract.
So Joy says, so how close are we? So we're pretty close. It's just one thing. And then Eddie says, no, there's a lot more comments. And there were a lot of comments, and we'll just leave it at that. We're going to move to the next video, which is going to be Frank Warren speaking about this issue, because Eddie said he doesn't think that Frank Warren would have much to say about it. We're going to actually hear what Frank Warren had to say, because he was on Talk Sport, and this is Talk Sport Boxing. You can subscribe to Talk Sport Boxing for the latest news in boxing, and let's listen to what Frank Warren had to say.
And in the last few moments, Tony, we've heard from Eddie Hearn, who, of course, is Joshua's man. And Eddie says, I don't want to get involved with back and forth that are going on to negatively impact this fight being made. But to be honest, we're baffled by the situation. He says, last Monday, we sent our final draft of the contract to Queensberry, only to see that Fury had publicly pulled out the fight and it was no longer on the table. He says, I'm not sure why Tyson Fury keeps setting unrealistic deadlines whilst also offering the fight to a number of other heavyweights for the selected date. You can't publicly keep pulling out of a fight and then restart negotiations when there has been so many positive conversations had. We'll see what happens from here. Frank Warren, back in your court. What happens from here?
Well, I mean, look, he's absolutely right what he says. Him and George have had some really positive discussions throughout. However, that's all there have been, discussions. We turned the draft around in 46 hours. It took them 9 days. They told us yesterday they'd get the red lines back yesterday. Was sat up until 11 last night, wait for it. Nothing came. Delays happen, and Tyson, it's not he's putting deadlines down. I keep explaining to him this, and then nothing comes through. So how do you expect him to react? He's training and wants to fight on December the 3rd, and he wants to know who he's facing. I mean, Tony's in there. Tony knows what fighters are like. They need to know who they're boxing. And this is just dragging on unnecessarily. It should be happening now.
Right. I think that I get the impression, looking at the messages coming in, Frank Warren, Eddie Hearn, get it done. So
we're in agreement with all them, but we can't get it done on our own. Where is the contract? Get it signed. Phone us. Where's the phone call? You know, George has made a couple of phone calls today. No one's called back. So what are we meant to think?
Eddie said it took over a week to receive the draft contract, though, Frank. He said yesterday we then received comments back from Queensberry on our final draft of the agreement, of which is now being reviewed. So they're reviewing it, and then you'll probably get an answer today.
Hang on, we're drafting a contract from a blank piece of paper. So that takes time, and that was done. We wanted to try and get it in shape and form that everybody was happy with. We sent it to them, and we got nothing back, and that was on the Friday, and we got nothing back until Monday at 11:30 at night. How can that be right?
They seem to be frustrated with Tyson keeping on setting unrealistic deadlines and at the same time offering the fight out to a number of other heavyweights.
Well, listen, if he's not, nothing's coming back from them. We're not sitting on our backsides. Of course, we're talking to other people. If he's not going to sign us and not ready to go, we're not going to scramble around. We're going to have a plan B. He wants to fight. He's fighting on the 3rd. He needs to get in the ring so that he's got a fight and he's ready for the big fight in February, March against Usyk. That's where he's at. He's had one fight in a year. He needs a fight, and he's going to fight.
So based upon what you've just heard, Frank, from Eddie Hearn and his press release to Sky, what do you expect to happen now? He's pushing back, saying that it's all been conducted in the public domain. It's unedifying. Tyson Fury's running around putting on false deadlines or unrealistic deadlines. You're in the background making different fights happen, potentially because that's what you're doing. What do you expect to happen now? Given what you've just heard from Eddie, you must now be expecting a contract available to be signed by both parties today or tomorrow, mustn't you?
Yeah, we're here all day to make it happen. It's coming up to 1 p.m. So far, we've attempted to contact their team a number of times today and had nothing back from them. This is after being promised the contract back yesterday. So what else can you do? And
Okay.
I remember, I tell Tyson this. So what do you think he's going to do? He's getting pissed off with it.
Yeah, Frank, why don't you just come in tomorrow and join us for the 3 hours? I mean, that's how it's
All
working.
right, so that's what Frank Warren had to say. Bob Arum chimed in, and this is what Bob Arum had to say.
Bob.
I'm sorry?
I said not Bob.
Uncle Bob tapped in. Now you know when Uncle Bob speaks, the world must listen. So this is quoted from Michael Benson, who quotes Bob Arum, but the source is at Talk Sport. Those of you see this right here, this is the source at Talk Sport. Bob Arum on Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua negotiations. Eddie Hearn is stalling everything because he doesn't want the fight. He's stalling until it dies. I don't think Joshua is part of that. I think Joshua wants to fight. I know Fury does, but Eddie doesn't. Bob Arum has claimed that there are no issues in Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua negotiations other than Eddie Hearn stalling to try to let the fight die. Arum has told Hearn, get in a GD room with the Warrens, finalize the contract, and let's get it signed. That's what Bob Arum had to say. Now, the last thing I'm going to show you before we weigh in and give our opinion on this topic is what Eddie Hearn had to say when he was negotiating with Deontay Wilder. So this goes years back to when Eddie Hearn and Anthony Joshua sent Deontay Wilder a contract, and Deontay Wilder was taking his time responding to the contract. This is what Eddie Hearn had to say at that particular point in time when he was waiting to hear from Deontay Wilder.
Did everybody's time, because we should have just fought Wilder straight off the bat. So are you going to believe me? Are you going to believe Shirley Winkle? I wouldn't really believe any of this if I was a member of the public, but what he is. However low your intellect may be, just understand one thing for me. If you want this fight, supposedly more than anything in the world, and I send you a contract, why the fuck am I not getting any feedback for 6 days and then being told that in another 6 days you will get my comments? So 11 or 12 days to get comments on a contract that apparently we're all so desperate to sign. It's absolute bullshit. Why wouldn't you tell me the week before? It's absolute bollocks. Rubbish. You don't wait. If Anthony Joshua wanted a fight and they sent a contract, I would send it to our lawyer. I would send it to Frank Smith. Within 48 hours maximum, they would get a reply on the comments.
Played himself.
All right. So now we're going to dive in to who's most at fault. Team Fury, Team AJ. Again, there's no real answer. We're just giving our opinion on who we think is most at fault. And I'm going to turn it over to the commish Trill Dollar Bill.
It's so crazy. Yo, you know, I'm from the hood, man. So and you know we love our aunties, man. So it's my auntie Mary's birthday today.
Oh, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Auntie Mary. You know what I'm saying? I know she's gonna be cooking up crazy. You know what I mean? She's gonna be cooking up everything today. Oh, snap. Yo, G, man, you never hit me back about cutting that tree in your yard, man. You know I wasn't gonna charge you. You family, man. You know I just probably say take
bring it up during the episode.
You know what I'm saying? I was saying, G, you know what I'm saying? Like, G, you can you know, you family, man. You know, I would have took care of that for you, man. You just probably had to take me down the street to get me the salmon with the curry shrimp over the white rice. You know what I'm saying? We could have had lunch.
With that, we'll talk about that a little later.
My brother Caden. Yeah. Baby bro.
Me $20.
Baby bro. No. Actually, you know what I'm saying? I miss you, bro. Like, I miss you. I know you've been busy with the working and everything you got going on, but I really miss you, bro. I feel like we haven't, chopped it up or anything. That's why I can't wait till we go out to this fight, my brother.
Oh yeah.
I
That's
can't
what
wait till
I've
we
been
go.
trying to. I've been trying to do a lot to clear that space. For that. You know what I mean?
I know.
Hours. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I miss my little brother, man. I feed off your energy, bro. It makes me stronger, man. So I definitely need you, my brother. But basically, what I'm trying to say is, when they talk, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? I believe it when I see it. That's my name. Can y'all show my name, please? Thank you so much. Believe it when I see it. True. I've been saying this since the beginning of these whole discussions. I said that it was too soon. I don't even think that the fight is gonna happen. I believe it when I see it, and I'm just gonna stick to where I've been standing. When it comes to this, guys, with the talking, I don't care. I believe it when I see it.
All right, Conspiracy.
All right, this one's actually tough for me. The reason why, because I was like so close to saying, Team Fury's at fault, right? Because I was like, Team Fury's giving them a short window. Like AJ is a superstar. AJ probably has to deal with, Matchroom rights, the zone rights. They're trying to figure that out, this, that, and the third. But then that last clip, Eddie Hearn played himself. He said within 48 hours, he could get a contract signed and delivered, right? When dealing with the negotiations with Wilder and PBC and stuff. So why can't you do the very same thing with Queensberry? So it sucks, man. So I can say both are at fault because I do feel like Fury's window is so tight that it's like, come on, man, you gotta give him some more time. But if Fury's like, this is what it is, take it or leave it, then now to me, the ball's in Eddie's court, right? And Eddie, like, although Frank Warren did say, we sent it, I think he said Friday, and we didn't get the corrections or something until like Monday. You know what I mean? And he's kind of like upset about that. But I'm like, yo, bro, it is the weekend. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Unless Eddie's whole team works weekends. You know what I mean? I think last time we talked about it, seems like Eddie's team don't do weekends, so I don't know, man. But Eddie did himself, on his own lips, say I could get my team to sign and have a corrected contract within 48 hours. So I'm gonna have to say Team AJ, Team Joshua's at fault because his own manager, promoter, whatever, Eddie Hearn snitched on himself a couple months ago, so
years ago, actually.
Yeah, years ago. But either which way, he snitched on himself. And salute to Caden for finding that clip. You know what I mean? So
salute to whoever on Twitter found that clip. We get, we get people send us stuff and we appreciate it, man. It's hard to always respond to everyone because sometimes like I may be in a meeting or in a venue where I can't really respond to everything, but I do get to see it. So like when you send stuff, we appreciate it. We see it. We can't always respond, like even in the comments. So that's why someone said to me, and I respect this person, like, oh, stick to the topic and stop responding to people. Like when you do the show, one, I do the show to respond to people. And two, I can't always respond in the comment section. So if I can, I'll respond when it hits my mind, just to let people know that we do see their comments and we do acknowledge them, whether it's in the video or in the comment section. So although you may not like it, I'm sure other people don't mind. Now, jumping into this, right? I'm going to be all over the place on this. I believe Tyson Fury wants to fight Anthony Joshua. I believe Anthony Joshua wants to fight Tyson Fury. I believe that. I believe that both fighters are willing to take this fight. Now, the issue becomes the matter of contracts. I think Tyson Fury offering Anthony Joshua a 60-40 split, that's fair. I think Tyson Fury has been extremely fair in his demands, and we all know how Tyson Fury is. If he really didn't want to have this fight, I don't think he's going to have his team draft up a contract. I don't believe that Tyson Fury is going to, go through all this to make the split. And you hear what Tyson Fury's saying. He's doing everything to accommodate Anthony Joshua. And I believe he is. Because I believe he wants the guy coming off of 2 losses. I believe he wants the guy doubting himself. I believe he wants the guy who just fought and is not having enough time to recover on December 3rd so he can beat Anthony Joshua when it's advantageous to him, right? And he can say, I beat the Dawser. He's official. I beat the Dawser. So I believe Tyson Fury and his team really want this fight. I don't think Eddie Hearn wants this fight. Now, if you're Eddie Hearn, you can't tell AJ not to take this fight. AJ's a fighter. Fighters fight. Fighters want challenges. So Anthony Joshua says, get the deal done. So if you're Eddie Hearn, you can make it look like you tried to get the deal done. You can drag your feet on getting the deal done. But in the end, you can make it take so long that they have to go into another direction. And that's what I think Eddie Hearn's doing. I think Eddie Hearn's doing this because he's not ready to cash out on Anthony Joshua. Now, you listen to what he said. His issue was with the fact that, and he said it from his own mouth, Queensberry's promotion has final say of approval, and they don't. And Anthony Joshua's commercial partners are not going to be okay with that. That has nothing to do with Tyson Fury, the venue, the split, the date, the fight. Has nothing to do with any of that. That's Anthony Joshua and all his commercial partners and his commercial deals. And what are they concerned about? Anthony Joshua's image. That's why they want the final say of approval on things, right? Or they want say-so, right? Now, let's ask this question. How valuable is Anthony Joshua going to be to his commercial partners if he loses 3 fights in a row? How valuable is Anthony Joshua going to be to Matchroom and the Zone if he loses 3 fights in a row? I think that Bob Arum hit the nail on the head. They're intentionally stalling, hoping that this will go away because they don't want to risk their cash cow. And I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think Fury has all the advantages right now, and he knows it. AJ's coming off 2 L's. AJ had a meltdown in the ring at the end of his last fight. So mentally, he's not there. He's questioning himself. Confidence is low. You get him on December 3rd. He hasn't even had enough time to fully recover for the fight. You see, he tried to pull that with Usyk, and Usyk's like, bro, see me in February. You know what I mean? Because Usyk got 4 belts, so Usyk can do that. AJ's desperate to get a belt again, so AJ's like, okay, I'll put myself out there again. Fury has all the advantages. If you're Eddie Hearn and you can't get through to Joshua, you feel like you can't get through to Joshua, what do? You stall. So I'm not mad at Eddie. You heard Eddie himself say, if you really want to fight, you can get it done in 48, 72 hours. So we know how he moves already. He had no problem getting Chris Eubank and Conor Benn done faster than this. And that fight had way more hurdles. So in the end, I do think it's Team AJ, not AJ himself. I think it's Team AJ that doesn't want to get this deal done because they feel like they're giving up too much. They're giving up too much in terms of date, recovery time, split, everything. It's just not advantageous for them. And if AJ loses 3 fights in a row, that's going to have a huge blow to his marketability. So I think that they are stalling it because maybe I'm going to get my conspiracy hat on and I'm going to close with this. Just maybe the real issue is AJ's commercial partners have made it clear to Eddie, if he loses this fight, he's done. We're dropping him. And Eddie's saying, we can't afford that. So he's making it.
Eddie's
about
like, whoa, thank goodness the score.
Yeah.
But can you blame Eddie, though?
No, I don't blame him at all.
Yeah, the way you pose it, I'm not mad at Eddie, man.
It makes sense to me both ways. I understand why Frank Warren wants it, and I understand why Eddie's like, nah, not yet.
And then So, and should Tyson Fury face some type of judgment? Because technically, if that's the case, he's cherry picking AJ because he's getting it while it's like easy money.
You know he's going to get away with it. No, his base isn't going to say anything about that. They're just going to say he beat the bodybuilding Dasa. That's all they're going to say.
That's facts. Yeah.
Well, y'all let us know how you feel in the comment section. Please like and subscribe. Check us out on Instagram and Twitter. And please check out our podcast on all major streaming services. We're just getting started. We are the Boxing Bros.